Hello everyone and welcome to my video for story recap of Act 3 Chapter 2 Part 1. So last we've seen our heroes are on the moon and then they are in a conference here in a group discussion on how to build an airship using so Golbez suggests that he can do it with his own will. This would be something that they should do, but it seems that they will wait for them from the moon. So, yeah, much like that. So, after this, Terra awakened from a barren wasteland, some sort, that happened after they were engulfed, but after the end of Act 2, where they were engulfed by the Crystal of Light. So Terra wonders if she's the only survivor here, but she has to search. It's like the searching for friends thing in Final Fantasy VI, where, well, instead of Terra, it was Celeste. So Terra here finds the light compass, which can indicate or help her navigate where the rest of the party are by following the wheel of light. So she's not unsure how it will be used as such, and then as long as the light is there, she can use it. Look, it's a light compass. So now the light will lead the way towards her searching for her friends. Terra meets up with Celeste in the next scene, but before that, Celeste has been in like a lover's quarrel. I don't know. She and Locke had a bit of a misunderstanding because Locke seems to want to find a treasure. A treasure. Now this treasure will be the central plot of the story. And Locke, being Locke, I don't know, has decided he will leave Celeste behind because he insists on finding that treasure. It's like when he wants to find Rachel or the Phoenix Crystal to revive Rachel, and that's that. And that left Celeste heartbroken. Celeste tried to stop him, but you know, heart, power of the heart, and that. Terra deduced that since we lose their memories, it's quite natural, and Locke is still wants to find the treasure. It is also revealed that Celeste also has a light compass, same as the one Terra has. I don't know why they have two light compasses, but I guess it's the power of the will. Now, what are they gonna do now is they will try to find the rest of the troops here. So, this barren wasteland contains most of the FF12 cast and the Final Fantasy VI cast. So, since they have no other way of knowing which way to go, will be sure to be reunited with the rest of the party. Now we see here that Locke has a graceful exit. He has no idea where the treasure is. He feels lost. He feels like he forgot something. He only remembers the time when the crystal core of darkness exploded. So that's the end of Act 2. Now then, with that feeling of emptiness, he ends up meeting an ally of theirs along the way. And that ally that he met is none other than Gabrant. Gabrant from Final Fantasy XII is now in this scene conferring with Locke. Now Locke tells about his plan about the treasure. Locke has no clue about the treasure, but he knows it's here. It's like he can feel it. It's So Gavrant is doubting about Locke, but it's about something important that we've forgotten. Gavrant being Gavrant here is being that sick emo dude like, I have no emotions, no more emotions left behind. I still continue to live like that, saying that this may be the land that this may not be the land of evil is, it's the land of respite, but this is a new land of respite. Both are unsure if it's the Crystal Core's doing, but for Locke's perspective, since he's a quote unquote treasure hunter, it's kinda a treasure hunting thing, you see. Now we go over to the next scene. We have the two generals, General Leo and Bosch, having a conversation, and then Terra and Celeste finds them. So now they're like, now been they have met up on this barren wasteland of an island. It seems that all of them are split up, and it's just the fact that Celeste blames herself why they are in this particular situation since her argument with Locke earlier. And then Celeste, being the expositionist, wants Terra to explain what happened. Then we head over to a funny scene here where Gao is calling Gabrant armor. We'll get to that in a future cutscene where how Gabrant found Gao and Sabin. So these three managed to find Terra and Bosch and the company, and then in the end, Gabrant tells about his encounter with Locke earlier. So Gabrant recognizes the name Locke. He calls him a thief. So Gabrant asks if the two had some sort of connection. So yeah, there. So Gabrant tells what happened with Locke when he and Locke met earlier. And he was right. It was all about Locke being after that treasure. So Terra wants Celeste to speak. Find a scene here with Gabrant and Locke continuing their earlier conversation regarding the treasure that Locke was hunting. It was said that it has to be related with their memories. So Locke is kind of in a desperate mode right now. That's why he shrugs Celeste aside just to find this certain treasure that I'm still big on what the treasure is. So he still wants to explore it along in this new whole world. Then we get to this scene here, which is like a callback to Harry Potter. So Locke and Gabrant are now going to part ways. Gabrant said he will find the party, the Locke's friends, but Locke wants Gabrant to tell Celeste a message. And then Gabrant just hesitantly or just said, "I'm not a messenger," which is like a callback to Harry Potter Goblet of Fire, where Hermione says, "I'm not an owl," like that. So Locke was like, "All right, see ya," and that was the cutscene. Here was like Realm and Strago alone being having a granddaughter grandfather moment, and then the party again crashed into them. Then we go into the scene where Locke is again in his adventures. He looks like he's all alone, and then Baltir suddenly shows up creepily. Locke doesn't know where Baltir came from. Well, Baltir has some business in the area. It's like he's working for someone, I guess. and that someone is Edgar. So Balter is basically teaming up with Edgar now and asking Locke if he's lost. And then I guess Treasure Hunter Instincts says no, and then says, "Yeah, do what you do, man." So apparently, this barren island wasteland is similar to the pharaohs of the pharaohs that was on the Across the Skies chapter where Von's burst weapon debuted. So it's like a labyrinth created by the memory of Celeste being heartbroken by Locke. So it is now hinted here that they will find themselves or reconvene in Daryl's tomb. So Daryl is Setzer's girlfriend or something that owned the airship that the Final Fantasy VI party used in the World of Ruin. And now we have a scene here, Arden finding, which I believe is the treasure Locke is looking for, which is a fragment of fragmented memories. And he sees Terra and Celeste here. Uh, and now we get to see the debut of Mog here. So let me just cut it. So here Mog met Arden, and Arden seems like a good guy now. He seems like a face. He questions that there is a Moogle, another Moogle that is different from the Moogle from Mog that he've known about. And Arden hatch a plan in order to lead the Terra's party into this chamber, into this place, so they can meet. But I guess Arden doesn't want to appear with Mog because the party may still think he's a bad dude after all the things he's done. And there. What I think here is Mog thinks Arden is an innocent man, and throughout the rest of the story, Mog says Arden is a nice old man that he met. Now, in the next scene, we see that Shadow is underemployed by someone, but it is not Edgar. So here we will encounter the Chaos difficulty fight, where Shadow challenges Celeste and the party to somewhat fight, because fighting, remember, strengthen the will and the resolve, which could be strong enough to break the seal of the labyrinth that is this barren island wasteland. So after fighting Shadow, which is by far a tanky Shadow, not like the Shadow that we have, how come every time the boss gets into the party, he gets nerfed? Alright? It was revealed that Princess Ashelia Banagan Dalmasca is Shadow's client, and the fight was, you guess it right, to break the seal of this labyrinth. So we also got this flashback scene of how Gabrant met Gao and Sabin. Basically, Sabin is knocked out, Gabrant met them, and then Gabrant offers his help. This is how Gao called Gabrant armor. It is such a funny scene for me. And it looks like Gao is repaying the time where Sabin gave Gao some meat in the belt. So it's a nice backstory here. Gabrant is going all Vegeta here, that his armor is for the Judge Magister. That symbolizes it is like being proud that he's a Judge Magister, and that's what the armor represents. And we find out that Sabin is just sleeping like a hibernating bear. Now that in the next scene we got Locke meeting up with Mog. He's surprised that Mog is in this world as well. I don't know how two Muggles will coexist. Let's just find out. And then Locke just leaves him alone, and Mog is just frustrated. Then on the last two scenes after fighting the ancient monsters, the Humbaba, they're now here in Daryl's tomb. They suspect Setzer to be here because it is indeed the tomb where the airship from Final Fantasy VI came from. I guess it was called the Falcon. So Falcon and the Winter Setzer. And then we got the last two scenes to be played out that Penelo and Fran met Mog, and the story continues inside Daryl's tomb. So, my take on the story, I guess it's kinda basic. It's like Locke being a stubborn, but not being stubborn because he wants to do it all by himself. It's like his instinct and such. It's like it's treasure hunter jellies or something. So, yeah. The ending is cliffhanger because it's part 1. We need to find out in part 2 how Mog dives into the story. What is the treasure that Locke is hunting? And will Arden do something sinister against the party, or will he just continue to play as the good guy? So that's my take on this story. Let me know what you think. I think it is another basic Decidia memory searching story where someone has to prove themselves, someone has to fight for their will. We've been there, done that before, most of Act 2. I wish there was something more different than that, but I guess it works. And yeah. So, next review will be on part 2 of Act 3, Chapter 2, where we see the Trestles, as I like to call them, the one where Yuffie will cheese the Lufenia fight. So that is my take. Thank you for watching, and good night.